Okay, this is local WP. In order to access local, you could search on Google local WP or go to localwp.com. As it says, the number one local WordPress development tool. In order to get started, you mustn't create an account. Creating an account, actually, it's more or less if you want to use some kind of specific services, which would go into later on, but we don't need that. All we just need to do is go straight to download and choose the platform. If you're using Windows, Mac, Linux, for me, I use Windows. I have to select Windows. You mustn't fill all the details here. The necessary detail to be filled is just on the work email. That is it. And once you are done, just tap on get it now. It will start downloading. Just wait while it finishes downloading, and once it's done downloading, it's time to install. Okay, so this is the downloaded file. So all you have to do to install local is to actually right click and choose the option run as administrator. So running as administrator ensures that local installs properly. So once you do that, it's going to give a pop-up. So let's wait for that. This is the pop-up. So all you need to do is tap on yes. And you can see it's installing. So we just have to wait while it installs. It takes some few minutes, so you should be patient while waiting. So this is it for me. So on the fresh install, it's a current user or anyone. Anyone means for those who use more than one users on their system, so it will be installed on all the users, but I want to use only for me because I just need it for only this account. So I can tap on next and install the software. So it doesn't really take much time during the process. It just depends on the power of your PC or your desktop device. But nonetheless, just wait a while it installs. It has installed. I need to do is tap on finish. Okay, so very soon local will load up on my Windows. So this local actually loading. Let's wait. Usually when you start with local, you would have the empty option to create a new site. I've previously installed local before now, but once you make your first installation, you will see the option to create a user. You mustn't create a user. All you need to do is on the pop-up window, there is an X at the right hand top corner. Just tap on the close and it will take you to this interface. Taking you to this interface, you see the option create a new site. Now I do not have this option here because I have created a site previously, which is Learn with Great. But nonetheless, in order to teach you how everything works, I have to create a new site. I have to tap on this option to create a new site. Forget about every other thing. As we proceed, you will learn more. So don't bug yourself to understand everything. Let's do what matters. If you are one who is interested, you can go further and explore. But the purpose of this course is to ensure in no time you know how to build an exceptional website. So let's create a new site. Forget every other option. Continue. Give your site a name. I'll give my site a name. Let's say Great Opomu. That's the site name. There's an advanced option. You don't need that. Just ignore. Tap on continue. Preferred, custom, stick with preferred. You don't know anything here. So WordPress username and WordPress password. Remember we talked about database. So WordPress username and WordPress password, it's what allows you to be able to log in to the WordPress. So WordPress is a software where you have the back end and the front end. The front end is what people see. The back end is what you do. It's more like an ATM machine. Behind the ATM machine, there is a loader that loads in the money. you as the customer, you just go there to collect the money. So what you see is the ATM at the front of you and the hole where the money comes out from. But there's someone inside who is ensuring things works well for you when making your withdrawal. So it's same thing. So when people come to your website, they see the beautiful website, but there is a back end where you do the work. Now you need username and password to ensure that that backend is secure. I create one. I could say my username is great and my password it's great at 123. That's my password. But ensure you create strong passwords. It's very, very important to do so. If you want to know how to create a strong password, I would recommend I think one of my videos or posts about that on how to create a strong password. Then WordPress email. WordPress email is basically the email that receives notification. So usually WordPress sends notification like an update to be made or some kind of notifications if it's an online store letting you know that, oh, a purchase has been made. Yeah, you can actually use WordPress to build a solid online store. It won't be covered in this course. If it's something you are interested in, you can notify me, send me an email that I need a free course on WooCommerce, which is the e-commerce of WordPress, and I'll be glad to create out time to create a free course for that as well. So though this is a local setup, you may not really need a real email, but you need it because when you want to move this website to a live hosting or an online hosting, the email will still be the same. So let's use a real email. So I'll use mine, mail@greatopomu.com. That's what I am going to use. Forget about the advanced options. You know nothing here. Don't bother yourself too much. Just move on to add site. We've added a site. Now it is creating site folders. Because I have set up local before now, there are some options it's not asking from me. But if it's the first time, there are some options ask like network access. So when it gives you that pop-up for network access, ensure you select private, public, and allow. So it may ask you about 3 times, so you ensure that you allow all 3 times. And there also may be another pop-up like Windows command processor. Ensure you tap on yes to allow it so that everything about local installs smoothly. So while we are waiting for the site to set up, I'll just make you understand some few things with my previous installation. Usually when you are done installing, it comes this way and you have the site domain which you are able to use to access your website. So learn with great, we actually did earlier on, learn with great.local. If you type it on your web browser in your laptop, it's going to take you to your new website. And we have SSL, like we've explained SSL before, whether it's local or online, you need, I just tapped on the Windows command processor. Whether it's online or local, you need an SSL for your browser to trust your website. And another option here that will be of a concern is one-click admin. So what this does is local is done in a way that you are able to access your website easily without trying to put password every time you start up local. But I do not advise that because as you are getting started, it's not good to learn to forget passwords. So for me, I advise that you turn this off. Do not turn it on. So by default, it's turned off. I just turned it on just to check out how things works. But by default, you turn it off. That is it. Learn to remember your password. That's the number one lesson if you are getting started. And SSL, usually when you install afresh, you see the option to check the box trust. You see it's saying trusted, but by default it is not trusted. So you have to manually trust it. So once you tap on trust, it changes from like the green text trust to trusted, which shows that your system now trusts this SSL. So that's it on this area. If I open site right now, what it is going to show me is the fresh WordPress. Just wait a while, my website is loading. Okay, this is the website. It has loaded. Learn with Great. When you basically start with WordPress, it's basic, so it's like there's nothing much achieved by the way, but this is how it is. One thing I'm just going to show you on the local, Great Opomo has installed, like the things I was explaining before. You see the option trust. So ensure you tap on trust so that your browser will trust this SSL. That's it. Checking the box, it says trusted. It's what it is. Now, if I tap on open site, I can see my site, Great Opomo also. I have two websites. I'm going to choose one to work with. I'd prefer to choose work with, learn with Great. But nonetheless, I just want to show you something. You see WP admin and open site. Open site is the front end which you see right now, and WP admin is what you see to log into the back end of WordPress. That is what it is, logging in. I'll simply have to put my username and password which I set earlier on and just tap on login. So remember your passwords all the time. So this is the WordPress area. Yeah, before we go into WordPress, there is a tool here called Mailhog. So that mail you set, usually you receive notifications, but you're on local. How are you going to receive real notifications? What WP Local did is create a local system where every notification you get them. So you do not need to go to your real email. So with this Mailhog, notifications from WordPress will be sent here and you can see them. So it's a proper way to actually test several things on your WordPress site, which is very beautiful. Now, on getting started with WordPress, our next module will be explaining some of the basic terms here in WordPress and how to get started with them.